Good evening and welcome to the regular Town Council meeting, May 6th. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Chairperson Phillips.
Present.
Councilor Sims.
Present.
Councilor Lillis.
Present.
Councilor Cooch.
Present.
Councilor Gagnon. Councilor Lavoy.
Present.
Councilor Siegel.
Present.
All right, and we'll move on to the acceptance of the April 1st regular Town Council meeting and the April 1st special Town Council meeting minutes. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second by Councilor Sims. Any changes, comments? All right, all those in favor? 6 yeas. Now we'll move on to open public communications. This is a time for people to come up to the podium, speak on an item that is not on the agenda, and we're going to do 3 minutes for comments. So just state your name and where you're from.
My name is Deidre Hamblin, and I live at 26 Hamblin Drive, and I'm here to talk about the quarries in Gorham. I wasn't born in Gorham. I married into the Hamblin family 36 years ago. Charlie and I have raised 4 children here, and I currently work as an ed tech in the Gorham School Department. The quarries and the asphalt plant in Gorham impact our neighbors and us, though we only live a half a mile from the quarry. For a long time, we assumed the town and state regulated the quarry activities to ensure a healthy environment of the town's citizens. We tolerated the dust, vibrations, noise, and were under the assumption that our government regularly assessed them to ensure health and safety. Instead, we found that the town ordinances and state regulations were woefully inadequate to protect the neighbors and citizens of the town. The state relies on the town for enforcement, and the town ordinances are at a bare minimum and do not ensure that the rules are followed. Dust ordinances are minimal and unenforced. Blasting records are kept, but no one reviews them or understands them. And the 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. work hours are routinely violated. And the asphalt plant, there are no ordinances for the asphalt plant. How can the town of Gorham not have any oversight over these heavy industrial businesses? It makes no sense and is detrimental to the town as a whole. The town council has a duty and authority to create ordinances to better serve the citizens of Gorham. What's stopping you? I suggest that the town create a group to investigate this matter. Quarry owners, town employees, and neighbors can meet and collaborate to find common ideas and common sense solutions to quarry and asphalt plant concerns. Please work with us to make Gorham a better place to live. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public?
Ken Curtis, 118 South Street. Next month, I'll be 54-year taxpayer in Gorham. So I don't know what that counts for. I had thoughts about walking over what I'd like to talk about, but again, you people already know mostly how I feel, and probably I'd just be wasting your time and you'd be listening, but I don't think it makes any difference. So one thought I have, and I haven't heard this talked about at all, is what about a moratorium on giving out building permits? 9 months? 10 months? That gives the town, all the different agencies in town, gives them an opportunity to take a breath and kind of work their way through some of these housing developments that we've got going now. If you're in, say, I don't know, August, September, pick a day, the first of the month, that if they're building permits, after that would be in a moratorium for 9 or 10 months. Pick a number. But I think that needs to be done, and no one's talking about it. So that's something for you guys to think about and maybe help everybody out. My thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, seeing no one, we'll close open public communications and move on to counselor communications. And I'm going to start on my right. Go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to begin by apologizing to Chair Perkins from the school committee, as I am stealing some of your thunder. But this week is Teacher Appreciation Week, and so I want to thank all of the teachers at all of our Gorham schools for doing an incredibly difficult and a lot of time and energy job. So thank you to all of our teachers in the entirety of the Gorham School Department. So there's that. And also, I've been told we have a very special birthday here, and so I would like to wish a happy birthday to Chief Fickett here. So, thank you. That's all for me.
Counselor Sims?
Thank you. Just a couple of quick notes. We'll have our next Capital Improvements and Economic Development Committee meeting on Thursday, May the 15th at 11 a.m. Next Monday, May the 12th, we'll also be reconvening our Fiscal Sustainability Committee again. That's the final meeting that's currently scheduled, but I do hope that will work to keep that work going. And I hope that we'll be able to share. There was some very helpful information from the Greater Portland Council of Governments with some financial modeling they've done, kind of assessing the net impact of different housing types here in Gorham and what kind of impact that has on the bottom line for the town budget. And I'd really encourage residents to watch that recording from the meeting last week. And also hopefully we'll talk about it more, because I think there's a lot of misconceptions about, any new housing is assumed to be a net negative for our tax bills, and that's the numbers. The data doesn't bear that out. There's a very nuanced discussion there of where is it built and lots of other stuff. But hopefully we'll talk about that more next Monday at the Fiscal Sustainability Committee meeting. And I did also just want to make sure I mentioned I wanted to wish a very happy birthday to Chief Fickett. Thank you.
All right.
Counselor Lavoy, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just checking dates. All right, so the Open Space and Trails Master Plan Steering Committee will be meeting also next Monday at 6 p.m. And the Finance Committee will be meeting on the 14th, that's next Wednesday, at 4 p.m. And happy birthday, Chief Fickett.
All right. Counselor Kush, go ahead.
Yes, two things for me. Well, 2.5. Happy Teacher Appreciation Week to educators who may find themselves a discount or a free cone at Papa's, or be sure and check educators out there for what might be. I would also like to acknowledge our person here for Professional Municipal Clerks Week, Miss Lori, and please wish a happy birthday to Chief Fickett.
Go ahead, Counselor Willis.
Awesome. I want to go back to April 27th and thank the 60-plus volunteers that participated in Gorham Cleans Up. Not the best day for it, but we were able to sneak in a couple of hours of work before the rain showed up. They picked up over 1,300 pounds of trash before the rain came. So special thank you to Bill Moreno and the Conservation Commission, the Gorham Village Alliance, Public Works, the Gorham Recreation Department, VIPS, the Snow Goers, and Casco Federal Credit Union for making that day such a success. Did I say happy birthday to Chief Fickett?
No, you didn't.
Happy birthday, Chief.
All right, so the first annual Jane's Walk was this past weekend on Saturday, and it stopped raining, the sun came out. It was a really great walk. We were expecting, usually walks have about 20 or 30 people that come, and where it was our first one, we were kind of hesitating, but there was, I think, over 100 people that came to walk the streets of South Street, and I know Councilor Sims was there, and we had a great time. I did some of the talking points for the Historical Society, Greater Portland Landmarks, and the Gorham Village Alliance hosted the event. We had lots of homeowners there giving talks about their own houses, which was really great to have that too. So we're going to do this probably every year. May 3rd is always the date. And so we're going to plan on doing that. It's actually the first Saturday of May, but we're going to do that in different parts of town next year. So keep an eye out for all that information. And of course, Chief Fickett, happy birthday. Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I also want to thank the volunteers for Gorham Cleans Up, especially our town staff that volunteered that day as well. There will be a public open house event for our Open Space and Trails Master Plan Steering Committee on June 9th from 6 to 8, and basically another input session to gain public feedback on that process. Next Tuesday night is the public hearings and town council vote on the school and town's budget. School budget's first, but if anybody wants to hang out for the town vote later, we're happy to have you as well. And pending a decision from the council later tonight, there will be significant work going on in Roby Park this summer. We'll have some reader boards out there with a schedule of park closures, as well as when the playground equipment would be removed and the new obviously materials and playground equipment would go back in. So we'll have more information on that pending the outcome of this evening. I also want to thank our clerks this week, National Municipal Clerks Week, and for their service to the town. I would like to wish a happy birthday to our Public Works Director that had a birthday last week. I just want to make sure that he is recognized and feels appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, and on to the school committee report. Chair Perkins.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Sarah Perkins. I'm the chair of the school committee. You should each have a report in front of you, starting off, as was mentioned, with Teacher Appreciation Week. We encourage everyone to take a moment to express gratitude to teachers for their important contributions to our community. A smile and a kind word can have a significant impact. It's also National Nurses Day tomorrow, May 7th. Specifically School Nurse Appreciation Day. Our district is fortunate to have 6 outstanding school nurses. If you see any of them around town, please be sure to express your appreciation. Melissa Tringali at Great Falls, Colette Andreasen at Narragansett, Catherine Perez at Village, Elisa Murray at the middle school, Carly Homan at the high school, and Kara Ryan, our float nurse. Spring athletics are currently in full swing. For those interested in attending a game, we have softball, baseball, lacrosse, tennis, track and field, and several others. Please visit our website for detailed scheduling information. Between May 19th and May 29th, we have nearly 150 seniors at the high school that will be participating in senior internship experiences. They're engaging in job shadowing, spanning various fields such as teaching, design, dentistry, engineering, town planning, and more. We extend our gratitude to all who are hosting these valuable experiences for our students. As we approach the end of another successful school year, we have many activities planned to celebrate our students and their families. Some of notable events at the high school coming up are Academic Awards Night on May 21st, Senior Scholarship Night May 28th, Spring Sports Awards June 4th, the Senior Walk on June 6th starting at 9 a.m. That will be live streamed on our Facebook page. The high school graduation will be June 8th at 4 o'clock, followed by the graduation convoy. And the last student day district-wide is a half day on Friday, June 13th. And finally, with our budget update, as was also mentioned, we just want to thank the town council for a very productive budget workshop last week and a really collaborative process overall this entire year. So thank you very much. Coming up on May 13th, you all will be voting on the town's budget, including the school budget. The meeting begins at 6:30, is open to the public and open for public comment. Following that, the final step in the budget approval process will be the validation referendum vote on June 10th. Please vote. And that's it for me. Oh, and thank you to all town employees, and happy birthday as well to everybody celebrating birthdays.
Any questions for Sarah? Yep, go ahead.
If I'm not mistaken, besides the school budget, we also have a school committee election on June 10th?
Yes, there is one open seat on the June referendum as well, yes.
Thank
And I
you.
believe one candidate running.
Thank you. Sarah, on our agenda, we have a presentation by the Gorham Action Team for Youth. I'm assuming that's not happening. There's nobody here for that. Is that correct?
It's the first I'm hearing of it,
Okay,
so
all right.
I can,
We can move that to another month.
let's table that.
Okay, all right.
Okay, great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Public hearing number 1 on item 2025-5-2. Public hearing to hear comments on a proposal to terminate the wood contract zone on map 6, lot 14, in reversion to underlying zoning, South Gorham Commercial Corridor District, administrative sponsored.
All right, public hearing number 1 is now open. If anyone would like to speak on this item, please come to the podium. And seeing no one, the public hearing's closed.
Proposed order 2538, order that the town council terminate the wood contract zone on map 6, lot 14, in reversion to underlying zoning, South Gorham Commercial Corridor District.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I motion to waive the reading due to length.
All right, is there a second?
So moved.
All right. All those in favor of waiving the reading due to the length? 6 yeas. And now we need a motion on the item. Counselor Siegel? Is there a second? Counselor Willis? All right, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Real quickly, I think the council's aware of this. This is coming back from the planning board. Essentially terminates the contract zone at the request of the property owner on map 6, lot 14, and reverts the property back to the zoning that's now underlying in the district. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions, comments? All right, all those in favor? 6 yeas.
Item 2025-5-3, action regarding the June 10th, 2025 school budget validation election, administrative sponsored. Proposed order 2539, order that the town council authorize the town clerk to issue the warrant for the June 10th, 2025 school budget validation election. And be it further ordered that the polls be open from 7 a.m. till 8 p.m. Be it further ordered that the town council appoints the following persons for the designated voting district, and if any of the following should fail to serve, the town council hereby authorizes the town clerk to appoint substitutes. District 1-1, Susan Emerson, Warden, Laurel Smith, Ward Clerk. District 1-2, Catherine Corbett, Warden, Marie Plummer, Ward Clerk. District 2, Carol Wyman, Warden, Marty Tull, Ward Clerk. Central, Kim Getchell, Warden, Alita Landry, Ward Clerk. Be it further ordered that the registrar of voters be in session during the hours of 7 to 5 on Tuesday, June 3rd through Thursday, June 5th, and Monday, June 9th. And be it further ordered that the town clerk be authorized to process absentee ballots on Monday, June 9th at 10 and 2, and Tuesday, June 10th at 10, 2, and 8.
All right, is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second?
Second by Counselor Kush. Questions, comments? I think we all know what this is. All those in favor? 6 yeas.
Item 2025-5-4, action to consider appointing members to the Cemetery Advisory Committee, Appointments Committee sponsored. Proposed order 2540, ordered that the town council appoint the following members to the Cemetery Advisory Committee: Dennis Morton, Gail Platts, Bethany Wallace, Ken Curtis, Timothy Farwell, Jacob Botter, and Julianne Sharp.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
By Counselor Siegel, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor Willis. I think it's pretty straightforward, but
Yep.
there are other members of this committee, like Public Works Director and things like that, like town staff, is that correct?
Anyone that had a birthday in the last 2 weeks.
All right, and I'm hoping that somebody from the Historical Society will join, like, come to the meetings and stuff like that, so that was my plan. I asked around, everybody was excited, so, all right, all those in favor? 6 yeas.
Item 2025-4-3, action to issue a medical marijuana license to John Laparelli, Forest City Organics, 11 Gorham Industrial Parkway, Unit G, property owned by JK Properties, administrator sponsored. Proposed order 2535, ordered that the town council issue a medical marijuana license to John Laparelli, Forest City Organics, 11 Gorham Industrial Parkway, Unit G, property owned by JK Properties.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
All right, is there a second? Second by Counselor Sims. We have everything in front of us.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This has no public hearing because that was last month and tabled pending information to this month. So it should be all set.
Okay. All right, all those in favor? 6 yeas.
Item 2025-5-5, action to consider allocating recreational impact fee and tax increment financing funds for Phase 1 construction of Roby Park, administrator sponsored.
Is there a motion?
Proposed order
Oh, sorry.
2541.
I thought you're skipping pages.
Order that the town council authorize the allocation of $469,263 in recreational impact fees and $96,000 in tax increment financing funds to complete Phase 1 construction of the Roby Park Master Plan, starting in the summer of 2025. And be it further ordered that the Nickerson earthwork and yard maintenance be awarded construction work for the completion of Phase 1.
Okay, now is there a motion?
So moved.
All right. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor Willis.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Going back, and I can't remember, I want to say it was probably December of last year, we had to have the allocations done for ARPA. Previously, the council had allocated about $464,000 in ARPA funds towards Phase 1 of Roby Park, which recently, I say recently in the last couple of years, had a master plan update. That paid for, because stuff is not cheap anymore, basically playground equipment and engineering, as well as the rubberized surface. This is going to be a very nice addition to the park. So a nice playing area, walking areas. We need more funding, and we mentioned it at the time. What we're requesting is the allocation of $469,263 in rec impact fees, which is more or less what we have in the account right now. I think there's a little bit more as we speak, but also an allocation of $96,000 from the TIF account for the infrastructure, so that'd be the sidewalk, the water, drainage related to the TIF district as part of this project. Total allocation for Phase 1 would be just over $1 million, $1,029,917. It's basically gutting the entire middle section of the park. We're not taking down trees or anything like that, but we're going to rip out the playground equipment, replace it with the new concept plan playground equipment. There'll be a water feature. I'm trying to temper expectations. This is not a full-scale splash pad, but there will be water features, interactive features, raised areas, the playing surface, all kinds of investment. So happy to answer any questions. We have staff in attendance as well that are in the weeds on this, but if it's approved this evening, we'll be meeting with the low bid contractor, I think this week, and coming up with a timetable that we'll get out to the public, because again, it's a very public area, and we want to make sure we're getting notice out there ahead of time.
Any comments and questions? Counselor Kush, go ahead.
I do have a question. I was making my way through all of these plans, and it says that this is Phase 1. There's also, to make public, a couple of tree removals. Is the outer loop path part of this project or not?
So I'll take do I have any staff members who wanted to get in the weeds? I think high level, and they're in the weeds on this, this is mostly a sidewalk, walking area, playing area, just on the south of Roby Field, of the softball field. So not pretty much the middle of the park if you're looking at a map. Am I correct in that?
Good evening, Chuck Norton, Town Engineer. That's correct.
Phase one of this project focuses on the area right in the middle, just south of the softball fields. The loop around the entire park is a part of the ultimate design, but not included in this phase.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions for Chuck while he's up here? Go ahead.
I have I believe one question for Chuck and a few for the town manager, if that's okay. Do we have an estimated cost for the remainder of Roby Park?
We do not at this time. We only did the bid for phase one.
Okay. Okay. I'll wait.
Okay.
Other people to ask.
Any other, go ahead.
Has other phasing been broken out in terms, like on our project plan, it showed phase one, and then just kind of the overall concept?
We haven't determined specific phasing for other portions of the project. It would likely be determined based on funding.
Go ahead.
Yeah, just what was the timeline for getting it started and done?
We don't have a solid date yet, just because we still have this meeting to get through. But I do know that the contractors indicated that they could be ready as early as this month.
Cool. And then like a couple months to get it done, somewhere around there?
My guess is the construction duration will be throughout the summer. I don't believe we're anticipating delivery of the actual playground equipment until June.
Got it. Thanks.
Go ahead.
I guess
Yeah.
Do we have an anticipated lifetime on these enhancements? You know, how long do we think this might last?
I don't have that information off the top of my head. We can get that information though.
Based on, so the playing surface, I'm sure, has a lifespan. I would say that's probably the wearable surface. It's probably a while, but will need maintenance. The town of Gorham's history with like playground equipment is reuse, reuse, reuse until you can't use it anymore. So I would dare say, and Cindy can give me a nod, a long time. So decades, most likely.
Yeah, great. I guess while we're on this, just what's going to happen to the old playground equipment?
The majority of it, not all of it, I believe, is going to go up to Little Falls. And there'll be a site prepared. Public Works will help relocate it at some point.
All right. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
I have
Go ahead.
one more
Yep.
for the town manager here. The amount that's been allocated here, we're looking at like over $1 million. Why is this not going to referendum?
Excellent question. The majority of it is ARPA funding and/or TIF funding. So we're just under that threshold. So TIF funds don't require it. Basically allocation of tax dollars towards one specific project. So we're just barely under the threshold.
Got it. With 469 and 96.
Correct. If it was 500, it would have to go, or more, whatever that current number is. It's on the consumer price index. We'd have to go to the voters.
Okay, thank you.
So I have some questions about the rec impact funds that you're using. I know you made a note that it's a majority of the balance. Can you just explain how quickly or the timetable that gets replenished, just for the public? And
Yep.
I mean, I know how it works, but I just,
So impact fees have to be used for specific projects, so not necessarily like playground equipment like we've outlined it, but specific projects, as the council knows, that's allocated for the increase demand, I guess, on that new development that's paying the fee. So we have a variety of projects that are listed. Roby Park is one of them. And the funds will be replenished based on development. As the council is aware, we have some development pending. I can't give you a specific timetable when it's going to get back to that number. But the town has invested a lot of rec impact fees over the years, substantial investments in Little Falls, in other areas. So we utilize it when we have a project pending. There is, and so the council is aware, there is some state legislation that's pending that we're closely monitoring that would potentially limit the time frame that we could spend impact fees on. So we're very much involved in that conversation.
currently it's
Currently, it's unlimited. We could sit on it, but that there's talk of maybe a year or 10 years. So I don't know where that legislation will land, but it's going to penalize smaller municipalities much more than us that may not be able to accumulate as much revenue to do a project. Obviously, we have the capacity to do that.
Okay. I had some concerns about the amount of money I think that, that we're spending. I think your question was perfect about why this isn't going before the voters. But I think it was a very public process when we talked about the master plan. So I think that, there's been numerous discussions, numerous committee members. I think everybody's heard about it or learned about it or put up a sign to save Roby Park. So I think that this has been very public. And although it is very expensive, I was appalled at how much playground equipment costs. But I think that, this is what we were asked to do a master plan, complete part of it. It's just unfortunate that it costs us much money. But I guess we'll see how it turns out. Any other comments or questions? Go ahead.
And I'm not sure who this is for exactly, but I'll start with the town manager. Is there any committee discussion, staff discussion about the possibility of naming rights or collecting private donations towards any of this?
Oh, thank you. I don't think we've gone as far as naming rights. I mean, we've kicked that around, but we did recently actually form a specific account so we can take specific donations towards Roby Park. So if anybody out there wants to make a donation, we'll gladly accept the funding. We recently had a very generous donation to go towards the planting of a tree. The nice thing when you have an updated master plan is there's the locations of everything. So if there was, to the question that was asked earlier, a lot of the larger items require substantial investment, like the courts. That'd be a later phase, hundreds of thousands of dollars to do a multi-use court. But a walking path, if somebody wanted to donate aggregate in their time, or a tree or a bench, we know where that's going to be in the master plan. We can accept those donations and kind of slowly build out the park.
And so we are taking donations if people want, like memorial trees and things like that? 'Cause
Yes.
we talked about that a while ago before the master plan. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Any other comments, questions? Go ahead.
Based on that, for anyone watching, who should they contact if they do want to donate?
Any department manager can smell money in the water. Really, feel free to reach out if anyone is looking for an in-kind donation or financial, looking to make a financial donation, either myself or the rec director. We can point you in the right direction. And Cindy is a good person to reach out to because often she can connect people that may want to make a material donation or have in this case it was a tree, but I know we've had requests for benches in the past and things like that.
All right, all those in favor? 6 yeas.
Item 2025, 5-6, action to consider a proclamation declaring the month of May 2025 as Bike and Walk Month in the town of Gorham. Councilor Sims sponsored. Proposed Order 2542, order that the town council adopts the following resolution. Whereas throughout the month of May, Gorham residents are encouraged to celebrate biking and walking throughout our community, and whereas biking and walking have been shown to improve citizens' health, well-being, and the quality of life, while also mitigating car pollution and traffic congestion. And whereas improved infrastructure for biking and walking has been shown to increase spending at local businesses in communities across our country and around the world. And whereas Gorham schools, town staff, local businesses, and civic groups are encouraged to promote biking and walking as both a means of transportation and recreation year-round. And whereas Gorham aspires to promote greater public awareness and improve safety for bikers, walkers, and drivers in efforts to reduce collisions, injuries, and fatalities, and improve public health and safety for everyone on the road. Now, therefore, Gorham Town Council does hereby proclaim May 2025 as Bike and Walk Month here in Gorham, and we welcome all to join us in this observance.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? I'm just going to look at Councilor Sims. All right, well, thank you for sharing this with us. I believe we did similar last year. Do you have any other comments you want to make, or?
Well, no, thank you to Lori for reading it.
All right. Any questions? Go ahead.
I have a question since I am new this year. Is this are we an island? Are we celebrating this all by ourselves, or does anyone
Good question.
else celebrate?
It's actually
this?
it's National Bike Month in May, and there's a handful of dates for there's a bike to work day and stuff like that. So I don't have those exact dates, but I can get those and we can share them as well.
Fine.
But this year I thought it'd be a good idea to make it a little more inclusive and include the walking as well. 'Cause
Thank
we're all
you.
doing one or the other at some point.
And I think this is where I always, also add that, keep an eye out for motorcycles, because this is the time of
Yes,
year.
yes.
Motorcycle Awareness Month, or whatever it is, so, yeah. Any other questions, comments? All
They
right.
even got the one-wheeled things,
Yes.
kind of like a strange skateboard thing
Yes.
for the future or something.
All right, all those in favor? 6 yeas.
Item 2025, 5-7, action to consider authorizing staff to implement certain walking and biking safety measures in and around the Gorham Village. Councilor Sims sponsored. Proposed Order 2543, ordered that the Town Council authorizes staff to continue to implement walking and biking safety measures in and around the Gorham Village, and be it further ordered that staff report back to the Capital Improvements Committee on pending and prospective walking and biking safety improvements that better connect areas in and around the Gorham Village.
Motion? Motion by Counselor Sims, is there a second?
Second.
Oh, second by Counselor Siegel, I heard him first.
Mm-hmm.
All right, do you want to talk a little bit about this?
Sure, yeah, just briefly, I think, and Lori spoke to some of it in the proclamation there, the idea here, we're trying to make cost-effective investments here, and, these street safety improvement demonstrated in lots of communities to result in a lot of long-term benefits, certainly for the people in terms of quality of life, public health benefits, but also, when done well, there can be a very real long-term financial return to the taxpayers here. These type of improvements, they can result in improved quality of place, attracts more business interest, attracts more reinvestment in the community. That all helps us build a more financially productive core village, which kind of helps better sustain the natural progression of community growth. And we've got a good blueprint with our 2017 bike and pedestrian plan. There's a lot of opportunity, and the town staff's been doing a lot of work on that plan already, and I thank them for that work. And it's a never-ending job, and we just want to keep supporting them in that work. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions? All right, all those in favor? 6 yeas.
Item 2025, 5-8, action to consider establishing a Parks and Recreation Master Plan Steering Committee, administrative sponsored. Proposed Order 2544, order that the Town Council establishes a Park and Recreation Master Plan Steering Committee to facilitate data collection and public input through Tandem Landscape Architects, and be it further ordered that Councilor Willis and Cooch be appointed as council representatives to the committee, which will include 2 members of the Rec Department staff and 1 facility staff member.
All right, is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Counselor Lavoy, is there a second? Second by Counselor Sims. All right, would you like to?
Thank you, Madam Chair. We love master plans and steering committees here in the town of Gorham. Part of the reason we do that for the public's awareness is we are gearing up for a comprehensive plan update. And a lot of this data that we collect feeds into the comp plan and updates all that process. That being said, 2 counselors were volunteers/drafted that hadn't been on a steering committee yet. This committee, I think, will be a little smaller in scope and scale, and will primarily just focus on our facilities and our rec planning process for the long term, and just kind of help steer that conversation with consultants and the public. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
So this is different from the open space plan, how?
This is going to focus on facilities, so parks, fields, gyms, all that good stuff.
Okay. Just wanted to make that clear, since
Yep.
we have so many committees and plans.
Yeah, I think open space and trails is more, what are the areas we're targeting for that preservation and or use in the town? This would be what we have and what we might need for actual facilities.
Okay. And this was already budgeted for
Yep.
last year?
Yep, I can't remember the specific dollar account, but this consultant was recommended by staff based on a review, and I think we had a fair amount of submissions. I don't remember the exact amount. Looking for hand signals, 9. So we
Okay.
actually had a pretty good response from this RFP.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions, comments? Go
I
ahead.
just want to commend town staff for, as we're kind of prepping for this large comprehensive plan update. Over the past 3 years, there have been a lot of these smaller plans, economic development, trails and open space, and now rec is we're kind of really preparing for the comprehensive plan instead of just, oh, it's hit that time of 10 years. So I like that long-term planning. It's great to see. Thank you for your good work.
Sure. If I may too, another point for the public is, again, it may seem like we're just doing all these plans, but the plans, even if they sit on a shelf, parts of them for 10 years, we can pluck components. So if we get grant funding for a project or initiative, a lot of our village improvements for the traffic and the walkability were from a study that was done almost, 10 years ago, 15 years ago?
Yeah.
At this point. So it's looking at the whole picture, but we can, when we get the funding and the resources to do it, we can lean on these studies. So it's not just, town manager or town engineer or rec director saying we should do this. It's what the public wanted. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. All those in favor? 6 yeas.
Item 2025 2-8, action to consider adopting an amended revolving loan fund program policy, administrative sponsored. Proposed order 2545, order that the town council adopts a revised revolving loan fund program policy as follows, with proposed amendments underlined, highlighted in yellow, and struck through.
Madam Chair,
Yep.
motion to waive the reading due to length.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor Willis. All those in favor of waiving the reading due to the length? 6 yeas. And let's all just flip to the item because it's way back here. And is there a motion on the item? All right, motion by Counselor Willis. Is there a second?
Second?
All right, second by Counselor Kush. All right.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So this was at the council previously. It went to the Finance Committee for review and then came back to the council. But at the recommendation of the revolving loan fund and review by legal counsel, there was basically two policies for the revolving loan fund. They were consolidated, updated in a variety of areas. The Finance Committee, I wasn't at that meeting, I think made a couple tweaks and recommended changes. And for the public, this is the policy and guidelines for that fund. That fund was established probably 20 years ago now with TIF revenue to basically have a loan account for businesses that it fit a specific need. So if something broke or they needed an investment on a specific type of equipment, and the town's never had a default on a loan. It's actually been phenomenal, and it's a fairly utilized account. We always have a couple $100,000 out in loan at any given time. And we have staff here that can answer specific questions. Thank you.
Any questions? No? All right. All those in favor? All those opposed? Any abstentions? One. Counselor LaVoy.
Thank you.
Item 2025 8-5, action to consider accepting the recommendation of the Finance Committee on increasing multifamily growth permit fees. Finance Committee sponsored. Proposed order 2526, ordered that the town council accepts the recommendation of the Finance Committee to make no changes to multifamily growth permit fees.
Is there a motion? Is there a second? Second by Counselor Kush. Counselor LaVoy, or the town manager?
Yep,
It's up to you.
I think I can grab this one. Yeah, so we looked at this and we got advice from legal, which basically told us not to change it at this point. It wouldn't be fair to change the dollar amount. And you all have that document from legal in front of you.
Okay.
Am I missing anything, Efram?
One thing I would just add, if that's
Sure,
okay.
add.
In fairness component, specifically municipal fees need to be more or less assessed for the costs or the service that we're providing. So in this case, it would be the actual growth permit. So you'd have to have a compelling argument that why is this different than a regular growth permit? And we need, if without that, you're very much open to challenge. And I think that was a concern of legal counsel at the time.
Yep, question?
Just for the record, right now, a single family would pay $1,000, a 2-unit would pay $2,000, a 3-unit would pay $3,000. So we are charging more, but we're charging an equal amount per unit as that goes across the board.
Yep, that's correct. All right. All those in favor? 6 yeas.
Item 2025, 5-9, action to consider endorsing the National Wildlife Federation's Mayor's Monarch Pledge promoting the protection of the monarch butterflies. Councilor Gagnon sponsored. Proposed Order 2547, ordered that the Town Council endorses the National Wildlife Federation's Mayor's Monarch Pledge attached hereto as item 2025, 5-9.
Is there a motion? Motion by Councilor Lavoy. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilor Segal. Councilor Gagnon is not here tonight, but this was actually emailed to myself and I think maybe the rest of the council at one point I received it from a couple different taxpayers, but it was a previous town staff member that brought this up, and so we're just putting it on the agenda tonight. This makes me think of every August when all the teachers run outside and try to find the caterpillars on the milkweed to have them in their classroom every year. So that's what that reminds me of. So definitely we have lots of monarchs around here, so I think it's a good idea. So, all right, all those in favor? 6 yeas.
Item 2025, 5-10, action to consider instructing the Finance Committee to review building permit fees. Councilor Willis sponsored. Proposed Order 2548, order that the Town Council instructs the Finance Committee to review and compare building permit fees for the Town of Gorham and propose any recommendation changes based on their findings.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
All right, is there a second? Second by Councilor Willis. I'm hoping it's okay I put your name on this because we talked about this, but
Sure.
all right. I don't know if you want to explain it. It's pretty cut and dried, but if you want to.
I'm happy, yeah. I think the explanation kind of does it justice, but I'm just hoping the Finance Committee can check in with staff on how we determine permit fees and then also how we compare to other municipalities at this time.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm supportive of this. The one suggestion I had, and if necessary, this could just be a separate item for the next meeting, but would it be possible to also include in this assessment of the fees, could we include there's like a density bonus fee that comes into play in certain situations? And I'm just curious to know how our approach to that compares to other municipalities as well.
Thank you. The transfer overlay district?
I don't know exactly. It's complicated. I'm not certain of it exactly, but I think, yeah, my understanding is that in some areas of town, like if there's I've heard the term density bonus when you have to pay more if you want to have more housing.
That would be the
essentially.
transfer overlay
That's the
district.
transfer. Yeah, okay, so that's that one, yeah.
That fee, I think, and just for, so one, yes, I would recommend it be separate,
Okay.
but I believe we evaluated that fee when we did our last fee analysis. That would have been
Okay.
a little after COVID. I think we did take a look at that one. Building permits were not looked at,
Got it.
I think intentionally at that time. And the big thing with not all municipalities do value-based, and I think as the council's aware, that can create heartburn, especially when you have markets where there's more, the values are increasing and the cost of construction. That being said, it's also a system that can be more manipulated if you know what you're doing, and versus a square footage that a lot of other municipalities use. So just so the council knows, what we're going to do is we're going to take a sample building plan of a house and a commercial structure, and we're going to march over to every other municipality and say, what does it cost us, and put it right in front of them with your system. We'll get the rates and everything, but what does this house cost? What does this commercial building cost? And that way we can have an apples to apples comparison with other municipalities. And at the end of the day, we need to be covering our costs. That's the goal. It's not a revenue generator.
Right.
But maybe, I think, a separate conversation on the other one, and maybe a separate item would be my recommendation.
Yeah, that's fine.
Any other questions, comments? All right, all those in favor? 6 yeas.
Item 2025, 5-11, action to consider writing off uncollected revenue, Finance Committee sponsored. Proposed Order 2549, order that the Town Council authorizes abating the following uncollected revenues from the town's accounting. $40.11 total in small balances of uncollected property taxes through May 6, 2025 across 29 accounts, and $8,997.19 total in uncollected property taxes through May 6, 2025 across 24 accounts for campers at established permanent locations. Supporting document attached hereto as item 2025, 5-3.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second by Counselor Sims. I don't know, who wants to talk about this?
Happy to. Thank you, Madam Chair. A lot of these balances, so we have basically like uncollected campers is the large chunk of funds. That's the almost $9,000. The rest of it, like the $40, is like you're missing 40 cents, 30 cents, dollar, stuff like that, that we haven't been able to collect, and frankly, it's going to cost us more money to collect it, and the council needs to formally vote to wipe that off the books. We used to do it with the Finance Committee. Now it's brought to the council at the recommendation of the auditors.
Any questions? Go ahead.
Not a question so much as a comment. When I read through the agenda and it said, and I better find it, at established permanent locations, I don't want anyone to think that means there's a camper there, because this is campers that no longer are
Right.
there.
Correct. Yep.
Correct. Yep.
Right. Any other questions, comments? All right, all those in favor? 6 yeas.
5-12, action to consider naming the Little League baseball field at the Little Falls Recreation Complex. Councilor Phillips sponsor. Proposed Order 25-50, ordered that the Town Council officially names the Little League baseball field at the Little Falls Recreation Complex as the Horace Wilson Memorial Field in recognition of his service during the American Civil War and for his efforts in bringing the sport of baseball to Japan.
Motion? Motion by Councilor Boyd, is there a second?
Second.
All right, second by Councilor Siegel. So I mentioned the Horace Wilson project a while ago, but Horace Wilson was born in Gorham in 1843. He actually, after being in the Civil War, he went to Japan to teach English to students, and in 1872 or 73, he began to, on their breaks from their lessons, he took a bat and a ball and taught the kids how to play baseball. And so he's accredited with bringing baseball to Japan. He's in the Japanese Baseball Hall of Fame. And so we'll probably do something later with the family, and the Japanese consulate of Boston wants to attend the naming of the field, but we can do that sometime later in the summer. So that was my thoughts behind that. So, cool. All right, any other questions? All right, all those in favor? 6 yeas. Okay. All right, is there a motion to adjourn? All right, is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor? 6 yeas. Happy birthday, Chief.
Thanks.
One more time.